Okay, welcome back everyone. Today I'm in Copenhagen and I would love to talk about the biggest mindset problems that pianists usually have. So first of all, if you have a concert abroad or if you play in an unknown venue, many pianists have the problem that they think someone important might be listening to their performance. And that really screws up their performance because they will never be in the present moment. And I know that from myself from a few years ago when I had my first tour that was called the Rising Stars program, and I was playing concerts from London to Paris, Vienna, Stockholm, Athens, and I was playing concerts in many big venues throughout Europe. And I remember, because it was the first concert I would have in an important hall, that I was very nervous that someone important might be listening to my performance. Although I have already practiced the piece with my teachers, with my mentors and with many colleagues, and I've played these pieces many times. But suddenly when I was on stage, I was afraid that someone important, a journalist, another musician, a colleague, would be eventually listening, and I was always in my head and not really free in my performance. So that is a big problem, which, professors usually don't talk about when they are talking about your performances in the universities. You just talk about the piece itself, how you should play it, and what you have to do, but not really about your mindset problems when they come up suddenly. Another problem, which is very similar to this, is that you start thinking about difficult passages when you start the piece. So each piece has probably 2 or 3 extremely difficult passages, and the rest is not as difficult. So of course you would have practiced these difficult passages in your practice, in your daily practice, but when you start playing the piece in your performance, you're already in the future thinking about that specific situation, and you're already afraid of it up. And you're afraid of that passage up already when you start playing the piece. And that's a pity, because you will not be fully present in that particular moment. And there's something you would have to express, or you would like to express in that situation, some specific emotion, or some passage you would like to show, but you cannot because you're already in the future thinking about that passage. Or even if you have played that passage, you think, okay, was it going well? Was it going not so well? Or was it as I have prepared it? And you were already in the past with this passage, while actually you would have to play something else. So not being in the present moment of your performance is a big issue, and that's just happening in your mind. It has nothing to do with your practice or your preparation. So you have to learn some techniques or strategies on how to deal with those situations when they come up in your performance situation. So both thinking about some exterior factor that you have no control of, or thinking about difficult passages that are in the future or in the past and have nothing to do with your present performance. Now we come to the problems that start occurring also when you tour, because you will not always have a piano available. For example, here in this weekend in Copenhagen, I wasn't able to practice at all because I had some meetings and I was traveling, but I wasn't able to practice because I didn't have a concert here. But even if you have a concert, you often don't have the possibility to practice the whole day or the prior day of the performance. And that makes many pianists, and also myself a few years ago, very nervous if you don't always have the possibility, or if you have 1 or 2 days off practicing. And that is mainly a mindset problem, because obviously you will really feel not practicing after a week or a few days. But if it's just 1 or 2 days, usually you don't really feel anything in your playing, and it's just a mindset thing that you think, okay, I haven't practiced last day, but today I have a concert, what will I do with it, and how can I manage to play there? If you really are objective with it, your playing hasn't changed at all. So you need to learn how to deal with these problems. If you don't have a piano at hand, how to, of course, prepare well enough in advance so that you're not stressed if you don't have a piano on the day of the concert or the day before. And second of all, how to deal with your mindset so that you always feel prepared. So for example, if you put a piano here right now and I have cold hands and I haven't practiced the last 2 days, I'd still be able to play something there. Maybe not as good as I would usually play in the warm hall, but still you should be able to play in any circumstance, and that's something that you have to prepare for mentally and not physically or with practice strategies. Another mindset problem which is very similar to this is that if you have a new piece which you have never played before, that you think you need to have practiced that for a very, very long time before. I mean, there are different kinds of pieces. There are like huge piano concertos which indeed you would have to have practiced for a few months, but there are also smaller pieces, short pieces, maybe 5 minutes, very poetic pieces, which if you have a lot of experience, you don't need so much time in advance to prepare, but still you have the mindset that you need a lot of time, you need a lot of preparation whatsoever, and that really influences your playing. Because if you think, I'm not really ready for this, and you have a concert with it, you will be in your head, you will be tense, you will start to tense up, and yeah, that will influence your performance. So thinking about preparation time itself, and also preparation time with pieces which are new, but also with pieces which are in your repertoire and which you just have to repeat. For example, I remember talking to my mentor Lars Vogt a few years ago, asking him how he repeats pieces that are in his repertoire for next upcoming concert, and he said that it sounds it sounds pretty silly, but he found out that the best strategy to do that is to just play it twice, right? To play it first time you will still make some mistakes, the second time will be right, and at that point I was already like, how does he do that? I mean, I would need at least 1 week or 2 weeks to actually repeat a piece for a concert, but I learned later on that it was his mindset which was enabling him to do so, and I do something very similar nowadays. But of course that needs some mental preparation, which he did not talk about. So he just talked about the technical fact of just doing it with little work, but he didn't talk about the mindset that was behind it. We covered that much later on. So what happens if you don't have a good mindset with your playing? That will also result in other problems, in problems like tension when you play, which can also lead to pain later on if you don't take care of it, but also in worse performances, that you don't feel free musically, that you cannot really express yourself, that you cannot express the emotions that are in the piece, and also memory lapses, for example. So if you have a performance and you have mindset problems and you suddenly start forgetting the music, that is often because of the mindset and not because of your memory. Your memory itself might be good, but your mindset will lead you to these problems. So often people come up to me with symptoms like, I'm tensed here, I have memory problems, I have the fear of performing, but that is just a symptom. The problem is the mindset in the beginning. So if you want to learn on how to deal with your mindset and how to work out strategies for your mindset that will help you with your performances, but also with your daily practice, then please sign up for a free strategy session with me. You will find the link on aaronpilson.com/mentoring, or you just send me a personal message on Instagram and Facebook, and we'll find out exactly if and how I can help you with your playing and your mindset. So looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care and goodbye, and many greetings from Copenhagen.